This is a no-nonsense, budget-friendly knife that really does deliver in terms of performance. It arrives razor sharp, the edge is easy to maintain, the build quality is excellent, the deployment is smooth, and this truly is an excellent daily carry blade. My friends, welcome to this episode of the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you all are doing well. In this episode, I am passing on my review of the Petrified Fish Bunta knife. This is a knife that a friend of mine sent me. His name is Mike, and buddy, I really appreciate you sending this knife as a gift. I've been using this for the last couple of months, and I really like it. What blows my mind about this knife is that it's only $35. $35 for a knife of this quality, for the materials and features, that is so impressive. Anyways, folks, that's what this episode's all about. Let's go ahead and get started. To start off, everybody, let's discuss the company known as Petrified Fish. To be honest, I've never heard of this company until my friend sent me this knife, but apparently this is a Chinese company from mainland China. With the research that I've done, that's basically all that I can tell. It's from mainland China. Anyways, this company, they started a few years ago, and since that point in time, they've earned a rather good reputation. Based upon the research that I've done, it looks like the company was launched around 2020 on AliExpress. Their claim to fame, so to speak, appears to be inexpensive knives that are made of high-quality components with a lot of good features. With the Bunta, I have to say, I'm super impressed with this knife. For only 35 bucks, what you're getting here, again, is very impressive. By the way, everybody, I should mention this. As with all of the reviews that I do here on my channel, even though this was a gift, my thoughts are completely agenda-free. I'm going to share with you all the pros and cons that I have concerning this product, and it doesn't matter that this was a gift. With that being said, though, there's very little to complain about with this product. For a knife that costs 35 bucks, it's almost perfect. When it comes to the blades that Petrified Fish makes, the majority of them are foldables. Here we have a flipper. For myself, my personal preference when it comes to a folder is the ability to flip. I love that stud on top there, which allows for a very quick deployment of the blade. Bam, just like that. I can pull it out of my pocket, and boom, the blade is out. Anyways, going back to the products that the company makes, they do have one fixed blade knife. Maybe in the future, more will be coming. I don't know. As of the beginning of 2024, these products can be purchased on Amazon, as well as the Petrified Fish website. Interestingly enough, on the Petrified website, they state absolutely nothing about themselves. That's a little bit weird. Also, my friends, I did not see anything in regards to a warranty. With Petrified Fish being a Chinese company and the fact that they have their products on Amazon, I took some of their products and I ran them through fake review analyzers. I did this because it's very common, especially with Chinese companies, to purchase fake reviews for their products in an attempt to sell more products. While I did not go through every Petrified Fish knife, I went through a bunch, and virtually no deception was detected with any of their reviews, which is impressive. Purchasing fake reviews for products is a very common practice, even with American companies. I have to say, I am impressed with Petrified Fish for not going that route. It would be a very quick, easy way to get their products out on the market and to get their products being moved and sold. But they're not doing that. They're allowing their products to speak for themselves and for people to get the word out. In my opinion, that is impressive. I personally applaud Petrified Fish for doing this. Good work. With the Bunta knife from Petrified Fish, this is it right here. Let's go over some stats concerning this knife. As far as the weight goes, we are looking at 5.1 ounces. The blade length is 3.3 inches. The handle, 4.5 inches long. The total length of this knife is 7.9 inches. When it comes to the blade, at the thickest point, you're looking at 3.6 millimeters. As far as the blade material goes, we are looking at a D2 tool steel. The majority of the blade features a full flat grind, and it features a modified drop point or spear point blade. To be honest, it's unusual, and I'm not entirely sure what you would call this. It is without a doubt a modified hybrid point. No matter what you want to call it, I like this a lot. When it comes to the handles, the scales in other words, this is available in two different forms, a G10 and also a micarta. This is the G10 here, and I have to say, I really like this. This is available also in 3 colors, black, gray, and green. On the inside of the knife, we have stainless steel liners and also a stainless steel liner lock. As you can see here, we have a pocket clip that integrates right into the scales themselves, right into the handle. This is reversible, so you can put it on each side and carry this any way that you want to. You do have a lanyard hole here. We have the spacer here. Here we have that stud for flipping. It does have just a little bit of jimping on top there. Just enough to give it some texture for your finger. As you can see on the blade itself, we have the thumb hole, so you can flip this open if you'd like. On the inside here, it's an interesting pattern that I haven't seen before. It does add a little bit of texture to it, so when you use your thumb to flip it open, you can feel it. We have D2 stamped on this side, and we have 868 stamped on the other. That's the model number. In a nutshell, my friends, that is the Bunta knife. We've gone over the stats and features. Now let's focus on my review, starting with the pros. Right off the bat, I love the way that this flips open. Yeah, that finger stud there, it works incredibly well. You can flick it open with your thumb, but personally, I don't care for that much on any knife. Rather, my friends, my preference is the stud. I want to flip it open very quickly. To each their own, of course. Next, my friends, when the knife arrived, it was razor sharp. And it still is. This D2 still does a really good job of retaining an edge. And at the same time, it's not a pain in the ass to sharpen. It definitely does take a little bit of work, but it's not impossible. So in my opinion, this D2 still offers a really good balance as far as like holding an edge and being able to sharpen it. I'd much rather have a knife that retains an edge for a reasonable amount of time that's easy to sharpen than have a knife that features a blade that holds an edge for a really long time but is really difficult to sharpen. Because this blade is so sharp, it has gone through every single thing that I've tried to cut with it. And to be honest, I've cut through some pretty wild stuff with this already. With this being an EDC carry, this is not a bushcraft knife, but I have used this for just about anything that's popped up when I've been out in the forest or out and about in my daily life. I'm talking about cordage, boxes, tape, packages, and so on. I hate to admit this, everybody, but I even used this knife to repair the damage that I did to the front bumper of my Tundra. The other day here at Lone Wolf Mountain, I was backing down a very narrow road, took a turn, wasn't paying attention, and it clipped this tree and it ripped the front bumper off of my truck just about completely. It was being held on by one point. When I hit that tree, not only did it rip it off, but it also bent some of the plastic. So I had to use this knife here to cut through that plastic so I could tie the bumper back on so I could drive out of here. Yes, thanks to this knife, I was able to do that, and it performed that job very well. Not only by cutting through the plastic, but also with cutting up cordage so I could tie the bumper back on. Additionally, my friends, recently I was out for a backpacking trip where I was setting up the tent. It was rather cold. It was so cold, in fact, that it caused one of the ballistic fiber poles to break. Shit. I had to use this knife here to cut through the ballistic fiber so I could make a field repair so I can use the tent and not bail on my trip. Without a doubt, due to how sharp this is and the belly, this cuts and slices through just about anything. Of course, you can use this to make feather sticks and so on, but again, this is not a bushcraft knife. I do like the fact that the majority of the blade here is a cutting edge. Also, speaking about the edge itself, because it features a full flat grind, that is easy to maintain when it comes time to sharpen this blade. As far as the quality goes for this knife, for 35 bucks, I'm super impressed. I've had no issues. When it arrived, there were no scratches, no imperfections. The scales match up with the liners perfectly. There's no wobble in the blade itself. It's very tight. I mean, none at all. Again, everybody, for 35 bucks, I'm just super impressed. The fit and finish on this is amazing. You can imagine how many knives I've carried and used as part of this channel over the years, and I've seen some real pieces of shit for 35 bucks. For $35, this is an incredible bang for the buck. And that is my next pro, value. For $35, try to find a knife this nice, this sharp, with these features, and with this sort of quality. That would be a tough order. As far as the scales go, they fit nicely into the hand. It's very smooth without being overly slick. There's a little bit of a texture here, just a little bit, but it does a good job of staying put. You have the jimping on top next to the blade, so you can really get that blade pushed down with some force into doing whatever task it is that you're doing. Maybe you're making a feather stick, maybe you're setting a trap, you might be cutting through the plastic of your vehicle after you hit a tree, or you're trying to make a repair on your military tent. The locking mechanism has done its job very well with no issues. It's never popped loose, nothing like that. Very quick deployment and also putting it up. Speaking of the deployment, it is very fast, especially when you have a little bit of momentum to it. I mean, you could just fling it out. It's very smooth, there's no hiccups, nothing like that. We do have the deep carry pocket clip. You can flip that around to the other side. It's ambidextrous. That's great. And as far as the pros go, the last one would be the D2 steel and the fact that this is mildly corrosion deterrent. It's not the best, but it does offer you a good balance. With a little bit of care, you can get a blade like this to last for a long time with no issues. Going over to the cons that I have for the Bunta, this knife does have some heft to it. Of course, this is a personal preference. What do you like to carry? I personally like to carry a knife that has a little bit of weight to it. That allows me to deploy it very quickly. At the same time, it's substantial. Boom. Blade out. One of the reasons why I can deploy the blade of this knife so quickly is because of the weight of the blade itself. That allows you to fling that blade open very quickly. So it's not only the force of your finger doing the flipping, but also the weight of the blade carrying it out. The personal con here is whether or not you want to carry a knife that weighs 5.1 ounces. There are, without a doubt, lighter weight knives out on the market. So again, that's a personal preference thing. A very small con for this knife here is the pocket clip. Because of the way that it integrates into the scales themselves, if you want to rotate this to the other side, you have to take the scales off. In truth, this is no big deal, but it is something that you need to be aware of. Out of the box, this knife comes right side carry ready. My next con for this knife continues with the pocket clip. I've heard and seen with some micarta handles that the pocket clip is not ambidextrous. I'm not sure if this is something the company has addressed or not, but I've definitely seen that complaint out there. All that I know is that the G10 version does allow for you to change the pocket clip and put it on either side. Those are the cons that I have for the Bunta knife. All in all, the complaints that I have are rather small. This is a terrific knife for only 35 bucks. This is a no-nonsense, budget-friendly knife that really does deliver in terms of performance. It arrives razor sharp. The edge is easy to maintain. The build quality is excellent. The deployment is smooth. And this truly is an excellent daily carry blade. You can easily carry this knife for your day-to-day chores, day-to-day safety, your outdoor adventures, and light-duty EDC tasks. While it may not be the lightest knife or the most stylish, you have to admit, for 35 bucks, this knife looks really good. It comes in multiple colors, multiple styles, and I give this 2 thumbs up. This is a fantastic knife. A knife that's proven itself to be reliable and capable, and it doesn't break the bank. In my opinion, the Bunta is definitely worth considering. Mike, my friend, thank you so much for sending this to me. I really do appreciate it. This has become my favorite EDC daily carry knife. This replaced my Kershaw blade as my favorite EDC carry knife. Everybody else, comment down below, share your thoughts. What do you all think about this knife? What do you all think about the price tag? Especially when you consider the features of this blade here. Super sharp, quick to deploy. It's a flipper. Oh yeah, love it. What are your thoughts about this company, Petrified Fish? Again, I've never heard of them up until, well, a few months ago. But I have to say, I'm very impressed. They offer all sorts of interesting designs. So interesting, in fact, I plan to get in some of their other knives to test out. But all in all, this is a good knife. Everybody, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up before you go. Oh yeah. Take care, be well, strength and honor.